You know, when we think of VR, we usually picture a single person, totally lost in their own world. But what if that world was one you could actually share? Today, we're going to look at how VR is becoming this amazing new way for families to connect, to play, and honestly, to make some really cool memories together. Let's get into it.
And that right there is what makes VR so different. I mean, this is not just another screen. Unlike watching a movie or even playing a console game, VR is something your whole body does. It takes that passive screen time and makes it active, makes it physical. The big takeaway here is it's not something you just watch, it's something you do.
All right, so here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about how VR is just completely changing what family playtime can look like. Then, and this is super important, we'll go through all the safety stuff, how to set it up so you have peace of mind. After that, the really fun part. I've got some amazing shared experiences to show you. We'll even cover how to get the grandparents to try it, and we'll wrap up with a question that, trust me, pretty much every family asks.
So let's talk about this new kind of playtime. Think about a rainy Saturday, right? Normally, everyone might just retreat to their own rooms with their own screens. But with VR, you could have the whole family on their feet, laughing, exploring some incredible world together. It's becoming this perfect way to get everyone moving and doing something together, no matter what the weather's doing outside.
And what we're seeing time and again is that VR is at its absolute best when the whole family gets in on it. When parents are playing with their kids, that headset stops being this isolating gadget and instead becomes a portal for fun you can have together. And that shared experience, well, it not only makes it more fun, but it also creates a much safer and more guided way for kids to explore.
Okay, so before we can start exploring the galaxy or painting in 3D, we've got to do the groundwork. This part is all about setting up for family fun. It's a parent's guide to making sure your VR space is safe, secure, and ready for everyone to jump in.
Meta's Family Center is actually really smart about this. It's broken down by age. For the younger kids, say 10 to 12, there are parent-managed accounts. Think of this as the full control option. You set up the account, you have to approve every single app download, and you can set hard time limits. Then for teens, 13 and up, it switches to supervised accounts. Here, they get a bit more freedom, but you still have that crucial oversight. You can approve purchases, see their friends list, that kind of thing. It's really designed to grow with your kids.
And you know what? Getting this all going is way easier than you might think. It's really just 4 steps. You both need a Meta account, you send an invite from the Family Center, your teen accepts it, and boom, the tools are on. Then you can sit down together to customize everything. And that last part is so important. It's meant to be a conversation about boundaries, not just a list of rules you impose.
So, what can you actually do with these controls? Well, you can manage apps based on their official age ratings, keep an eye on screen time, see who your kids are connecting with, and, crucially, approve any spending before it happens. It's all about giving you the peace of mind to let your kids explore and be curious because you know there are good guardrails in place.
But what about everyone else in the room who isn't wearing a headset? This is where screen mirroring, or casting, is an absolute game changer. You can just send whatever the player is seeing straight to your TV or a phone, and just like that, VR stops being a solo thing and becomes a spectator sport where everyone can watch, laugh, and even help solve puzzles together.
Okay, safety is handled, setup is done, now for the best part, the actual adventures. I've put together a list of 6 fantastic experiences that are absolutely perfect for the whole family. We've got everything from world travel and art to some hilariously fun competition.
So here's our lineup. We've got Wander for the explorers, Walkabout Mini Golf for some fun competition, and Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes for just pure chaotic teamwork. Then there's Tilt Brush for the creative types, Acron, which is perfect for a one-headset party, and Fantastic Contraption for some fun that'll make you think. Let's dig into what makes each one so special.
First up, Wander. This is so much more than just virtual travel. It's like a time machine for your memories. Imagine this. You put the headset on with your dad, and he walks you down the actual street he grew up on, pointing at his house. Or you can stand with your kids at the base of the Great Pyramids, feeling that immense scale together while you plan your next real family vacation. It really does bridge generations by turning memories into a place you can visit together.
Next, we have Walkabout Mini Golf. The appeal here is just universal. The courses are gorgeous, we're talking ancient temples, space stations, you name it, and the physics are so simple and intuitive that literally anyone, from grandma to your youngest kid, can just pick it up and start playing. It's super chill, tons of fun, and yeah, it can get just a little bit competitive.
Okay, if your family only has one headset,
This game is an absolute must-have. Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes is the ultimate test of communication under pressure. So one person in VR is looking at a ticking time bomb, and they have no idea what to do. Everyone else has the instruction manual, but they can't see the bomb. What happens next is just this frantic, hilarious scramble of shouting and miscommunication. It is a guaranteed recipe for laughing so hard you cry.
All right, now for the artists in the family. With Tilt Brush, you literally step inside your own canvas. You can paint with fire, you can sculpt with pure light, you can create these amazing 3D artworks that you can then physically walk through. There are no rules, no objectives, it's just pure imagination, which makes it perfect for even the littlest members of the family to just go wild and create something.
Acron is brilliant because it perfectly solves that one headset, lots of people problem. So one person in VR gets to be this giant, grumpy tree trying to protect its acorns. Everyone else grabs their phone or a tablet and joins in as a team of sneaky squirrels trying to steal them. It's fast, it's chaotic, and it gets up to 8 people all playing at the exact same time. Nobody is just standing around waiting for their turn.
And finally, for some fun that's also secretly educational, there's Fantastic Contraption. This is a puzzle game where you have to build these bizarre, hilarious machines to get a job done. It really encourages you to work together, to try things and fail, and to solve problems in really creative ways. Honestly, it's like learning physics without even realizing you're doing it.
So you've got the headset, you've got the games, but what about that family member who's maybe a little hesitant? You know, a grandparent who thinks this stuff is not for them. Let's talk about how to gently bring everyone into VR with a few simple tips for those first-timers.
The number one thing here is making them feel comfortable and safe. Always have a spotter, that's someone outside the headset, just making sure the player doesn't wander into a coffee table. Start with something simple and seated. And here's a great tip. Use a small rug. If they're not wearing shoes, they can feel the edge of the rug with their feet and always know where their safe zone is. And yeah, keep those first sessions super short, like 5 or 10 minutes, just to let them get their VR legs.
All right, to wrap things up, let's tackle one of the most common questions we see from families who are just starting out with VR.
This is the big one. We hear it all the time. We only have one headset. How can we actually play together so it's not just a long, boring line of people taking turns? And it's such a good question, because that shared fun is the whole point.
And the answer really comes down to focusing on 2 types of games. First, look for what are called asymmetric games. That's just a fancy way of saying players have different roles and maybe even use different screens. Think of Acron. One person is the tree in VR, everyone else is a squirrel on their phone. The second type is any kind of collaborative puzzle game. As long as you're mirroring the screen to the TV, the whole room becomes a single team, shouting out ideas and helping the person in the headset figure it out.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. We've seen that VR can be way more than just another gadget. It can actually be a tool for connection, for learning, and for play. So the real question for all of us is, as VR becomes a normal thing in our living rooms, how are we going to design not just the virtual worlds themselves, but the new family rituals that will grow up around them?